I'm Mark Cavanaugh for Cavi Coaches, and today I'm going to coach you up for drawing free body diagrams with forces that act at angles. So here's the situation that we have. We have a wagon being pulled across a horizontal surface. And in this case, we're going to say that the wagon is being pulled and that there is friction that is acting on the wagon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw our system schema for the wagon. We know that the wagon is the object that we're drawing the free body diagram for, so we'll put the wagon down first. So we'll count the handle as part of the wagon, so we'll say that a person is pulling the wagon. So the person's pulling at some angle because the handle is making an angle with the wagon. So we can draw our interactions, and we're drawing our free body diagram for the wagon. So we have the normal force that is supplied by the surface. We have a tension force that the person is pulling with, and we know that the earth is the gravitational force. The problem here is we know that there's friction, but we don't have an interaction that shows friction. So we have to ask ourselves, what object interaction with the wagon is causing the friction? Well, that's the ground. The ground is causing the friction. So we have a second interaction with the ground and the wagon that supplies a frictional force. So frictional forces oppose the direction of motion. And we know that the wagon is being pulled to the left, so we know that the object has friction acting on it, which will be back to the right. So keep this in mind for when we're drawing our free body diagram. So now we draw our axes. So the horizontal axis is parallel, the vertical axis perpendicular to that. Shrink the wagon down to a single point. We'll say that the wagon is moving to the left at a constant speed. And we know that the frictional force opposes the direction of motion. So the frictional force is going to be pointing back to the right. So it's important to know that the wagon was moving to the left in order to figure out which direction friction is acting. Then we know our normal force points up, perpendicular to the surface. We know that that handle that the person is pulling, that's counted part as the wagon, is acting at some angle. That tension force is acting at an angle. And then we draw the gravitational force we know is pointing straight down, which will always point to the bottom of our paper when an object is on Earth. Now, if you're taking an AP class, if you're asked to draw a free body diagram on the AP exam, this would be your answer. You would not draw anything else. It asks you to draw a free body diagram showing vectors, not components, with each vector starting on the dot and pointing away. So in my AP class, I have what's called a working free body diagram. So the students would draw a second free body diagram and add any vector components and angles on that working free body diagram. So we can see that we have this angle theta that is given to us. We know that we have a component of that tension force that points to the left and a component of that tension force that points up. And using trigonometry, we know that the side opposite is going to be sine of theta times the hypotenuse, or ft sine theta, and the horizontal component is going to be cosine theta, so ft cosine theta. So we can see that our working free body diagram, we can add the components, but when you draw a free body diagram as your answer, you do not want to add any vector components. So this is drawing free body diagrams with forces acting at angles along with friction. I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button down below and subscribe to my channel, Cavi Coaches, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Cavi Coaches.